Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening to Indie Soul Saturday.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back again. This is your host, James Johnson, and you're tuned in to Indie Soul Saturdays. Definitely a pretty big day for us today. Pretty soon, actually, in the next couple of minutes, we're going to be bringing in Big Mike of Day 26. Definitely an amazing artist out here. Everybody knows, obviously of Day 26 and, their venture into music alongside so many other artists with Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Entertainment. And we've seen the type of vocalist he is. We've seen how hard that he's definitely worked in really establishing himself. And he's done so much, obviously, with the group and, in that foray. But now he is venturing out on the solo career. And it's definitely long awaited because so many people have really kind of been sitting around waiting for this. It kind of is the expectation, obviously, when there's a group out there and you have somebody who's kind of considered, quote unquote, probably one of the bigger voices of the group. And, with him being the balladeer of the group, as many would call him, he definitely was one of the voices that definitely stood out in the group. So, he's obviously done so much with that and is back here now with this solo career and doing really, really good. I definitely have to say he's got his upcoming album, My Time, or the upcoming EP, My Time, but he's definitely got a whole handful of songs that are and really building up to the release of that album. We actually shared some stuff out on Facebook, so if you want to go to our Facebook for Indie Soul Saturdays, you can definitely see that there. But he's covered some tunes from Boyz II Men and so many other people, but you can definitely check that out, and it's hot, hot, hot. Like, it's definitely really hot, and he's doing some things to really change some things out here, in the R&B scene and just in the music world in general. But definitely in the next few minutes, we're definitely going to be bringing him here onto the show, and we'll talk, obviously about, his journey through music, a lot of the things that he had to do, obviously, with Bad Boy and with Sean Puffy Combs and whatnot. And then, obviously transitioning over to this solo career and really learn what's been going on with him. And obviously he's doing so much, in that respect. His music is out there, is really booming, really banging for everybody. But then he's got other ventures and things that he's been doing as well. He's definitely been a choreographer, so doing a lot of that and really helping a lot of other people out here in the music industry who are really trying to get themselves out there and really be heard. So definitely a whole lot to talk about with him. So again, that's going to be coming up in the next few minutes. And then also, as we mentioned before, we've got Dale Hitch here on the show in our next hour, which obviously is going to be amazing as well because he's done so much out there and is continuing to do so much. So we'll talk a lot about that stuff as well. And what I also want to talk a little bit about is really just a lot of the developments for Indie Soul Saturdays. Now, obviously, I've been here with you guys for 2 years, and I know that the show has been out there for quite some time, but everybody, and that means the people who were doing the show before myself, obviously we have the big boss out there, Kathy, who was doing the show, and, other names, who have been involved with the show and the production and just Source Radio Network as a whole. There's so many people who are involved in this, but we've got some really fresh things coming where we're going to be doing a lot of live video streaming, and you'll be able to check that out. We'll be going out on location for a lot of different things. We actually just secured kind of a second headquarters, so we will be launching things from there in the next few weeks. And once we get that going, then it's going to open up the door for a lot of other things that's going to be going on. Definitely our podcast. I haven't really spoken too much about the podcast that's out there, but we are on iTunes. So it's definitely a way and an opportunity for you to go back and listen to some of our past conversations that we've had, with many artists out here. We're still in the process of uploading a lot of those conversations to iTunes, but there's a good handful of them there now. starting with last week's show and the show the week before that, and kind of, so on and so forth. So definitely something for you to check out. We definitely want to continue to bring new and innovative things for you all to continue to check us out. So now that I've kind of gotten a lot of that out of the way, we are ready to jump things off with Big Mike here. So again, as everybody knows, he was a part and still is a part of Day 26. He's been out here for a number of years, and we've really, really been watching things as they've been going on. So we are glad to welcome him in. Mike.
Yo, what's going on?
Man, what's going on with you is the question. What's happening?
Nah, not much, man. On the run, man. On the go. Always on the go.
That's how it is, man. I totally understand that. I've been on the go all morning long. It's amazing to bring you here on the show today, man. I really appreciate you for your time and for taking the time out.
Yeah, ain't no problem, man. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, most definitely. So talk a little bit, definitely start off with where things are for you right now. Like, I know we're going to be playing music on the show as well, but I really want you to, definitely talk about where things are now and how everything got up to this point.
Well, right now, it's basically I'm just putting out the single that I have out right now, just Lay Around. And like I said, it's available everywhere online. You can go get that now. And I'm featuring the artist from Charlotte on the one DT's One Shot. His name is 3. And right now we're just focusing on, pushing that out, pushing the single. And I'm doing a few different runs and shows and schools. And so that's primarily the focus right now, besides my kid group. And, how it led up to it was just, from the TV show to the group and the touring. And then, we taking a break and then dropping down to us. Back together for just a second to go do a European tour and then coming back to the States and and me still continuing to build my brand as an artist by myself.
Like, man, I love how you said that, and like you working real hard, man. I mean, simply put, like, you working real hard, and we definitely are seeing it. Like, you're breaking a lot of ground, and you're showing people that it really can be done when you come off of being in such a powerful group and obviously being a part of one of the biggest labels out there in entertainment, and now you're on that independent base. Like, what has it been like for you to go independent and kind of, in a sense, kind of go back to where a lot of people really start from, obviously as independent?
Honestly, the best advice I got from it, because I was, it's had its ups and downs, because I've enjoyed it, and then it's had its disappointment, because of I've missed having I couldn't sit here and lie outside. I don't miss having the machine to just to go and do everything, and I just get to be an artist. I do miss that part of just being an artist and not having to worry about, so what are we doing today? Like, what's the how the things are circulating? Like, what's the numbers on it? Where the interviews coming in today? Like, what magazines are we targeting? Well, where's the single being targeted at? What's the demographics? Right. What are we liking? Like, those things. Like, I can't say that I don't miss that, but it also gives me a sense of knowing that this is all me. So whatever is lacking, whatever isn't being done, it's nobody's fault but mine, because it's all in my hands. So if everything falls on me. So with that, it's like a gift and a curse. I mean, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's good that you explain it in that way, because obviously, if something falls by the wayside, then that you're the one that's responsible for that. But man, it's like you've had the best lesson that anybody can have through all of this, and it shows, because like you're doing really good with getting your material out there, man. And some of the stuff that I've seen, like these videos that you have out there, like, I think it's really, really hot.
I appreciate that, man. And I take that, very seriously. I take my entire reputation off of performing live and, doing everything live. Like, if we don't enjoy what you see from me live, then I'm not doing something right. If I don't sound how I'm supposed to sound live, then we need to go back to the drawing board. I don't need to be doing this. So,
right.
If there ain't some kind of feeling that you get from me seeing me live, then maybe I need to change it up.
Right. Now, actually, we got people posting in on Facebook, posting questions and whatnot too. So I actually have a question from one of your fans who's basically asking, now that you're independent, do you ever get to a point where you pull ideas from the Day 26 days?
No, not really, because Day 26 was entirely different. Like Day 26 was everything we did was based off of us five together, our ideas together, and then based off of Puff and the label, and a lot of other people that had their input on what we did. But with me, it's my input, and then the team of people that I have around me. So it's an entirely different output on things. But I have all the knowledge of things that I shouldn't do because of all of the maybe the shortcomings or the failures that we had as a group. So it's kind of like I said before, probably the best advice that I got from one of my old managers the other day was I was put in the best position. If I think about it in that way, I was it's just like being born again. I was coming into the independent role, I'm being born into doing this all over again from the ground up, kind of. But I've already been to the mountaintop. I already know what to expect. So you can't give me give me crap. You can't give me crap and or take me for a fool. So I can't try to keep from saying bad words. But you can't you can't give me shortcomings and nothing like that. So it's easier for me to go through all this because I already know the failures and the ups and the downs, the things that you are supposed to know, what you're not supposed to do in this game. So when people come to me with certain things they want to get into and get involved with, it's an easy no. So I don't got to go through certain heartache and certain mind brain scratches just because I've already been through it and I know better.
I think it's good because clearly, listening to you, I can tell that you really paid attention and you really listened to what people were saying to you and you took the information in and you're obviously using it to the best of your ability now and you're really making it work for you just in your own ventures. With you coming into music, obviously you came in as a part of the reality TV world. Do you see yourself as a business, as a business person, do you see yourself continuing on kind of with our as bringing in new artists down the line?
As getting new artists, signing new artists?
Right.
Yeah. Everything I do, that's who I am. As a person, I've always had a soft spot for people and wanting to to help and wanting to help to uplift the spirits of people that that want more, that want to do more, and they couldn't help themselves out of certain things, and they just need a light and a guidance or something. So I enjoy helping. That's why I teach kids. When I'm home in the time of my business, and I side teach with vocal lessons and dance lessons for kids in certain studios, and then I also have a kid group, which I also I had for about 5 years, which they have a new single coming out, and it was produced by a Grammy Award-winning producer by the name of Deron Feimster, and like I said, they're on the verge of blowing up themselves. So it's just a lot. I always like to give back and give too, because that's just who I am, and and a lot of the kids around in the Charlotte and the North Carolina area, they know that about me. They on a first name basis. We talk and we'll hang out whenever we can, and we just have a good time.
Right. So what I want to do now, I actually want to transition over to the first song that we're going to play here. And your music, man, is so hot. I'm going to definitely talk to you about some of these videos that are on your YouTube page, man, because you really, really doing it out here. And it's exciting to really see this in music. But we're going to go ahead and transition over to one of the songs that we're going to play here, which is How Do I Go On? Can you talk a little bit about that song?
Oh, yeah. How Do I Go On? Just basically, I wanted to do something different for the first single that I came out with as a solo artist. And it was, I wanted to make sure I was singing because people would not forgive me if I came out with a hip-hop song. I felt like that's my first single, so I felt like I would never heard the end of it. So, but it's just a record of just a singing ballad, and everything is done a cappella with just my voice. All the instruments, everything is me vocally, and I wanted to express that. So, how do I go on?
Okay, so we're gonna go right into it. This is How Do I Go On with Big Mike right here on Indie Soul Saturdays.
Boom, 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 boom. Longing for your smile, for the kiss goodnight. From the way you say my name, the greatest joy I've ever known. Love took me by surprise when I look in your eyes, and I always knew we would be. So tell me, how do I feel without you, baby? How do I feel without you in my arms? A beautiful love was growing so innocently. Thoughts of making you my wife, making love the rest of my life. How could we end this way? I miss you more and more every day, and I always knew we would be. So tell me, how do I feel without you, baby? Oh, how do I feel without you in my arms? No, I need you right here. I'm down on bending knees. Oh, feel so wrong without you, baby. How do I go? How do I go? How do I go? How do I go on? How do I go? How do I go on? How do I go? How do I go on? How do I go? How do I go on? How do I go? How do I go on? How do I go? How do I go on? Boom, 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 boom.
I think it's definitely dope, man. Like obviously it's something that a lot of people are looking at, and I think it's reminiscent of like when you first came onto the song. It almost reminded me of Boys to Men, which I know that you kind of covered some of their songs on YouTube as well. But
Right.
this is really really hot.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, that was just like I said, everything I do, all my records are very, very much so personal to me, and just life experiences. And this time, you know, majority of the time I like to focus on like the good times and like having fun, and you know, other than love and just good times in life, because that's what I feel as though life is about. It's about, you know, the choices that you make and the lessons that you learn out of the choices that you make. So I like to have fun and, you know, and love. I like to have love and, you know, have fun.
Yeah, it's so many people that are loving it. Yeah, it's so many people that are loving it, and like my engineer, she's saying right now, like she's just like, this is hot. Like she's like, OMG, this is hot. Like people are loving it.
Thank you.
The rest going, man.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Now, just to talk a little bit.
That one's available anywhere.
Yeah. Now, just to talk a little bit about, you know, the fact that you've been doing a lot on YouTube as well. You covered Yesterday by Boys to Men, and the way you put that video together, man, where it's like 6 different shots of you, and obviously one is singing a different, you know, a different level of the song. Like that was like, where did the idea of doing that come from?
Well, I sit at home when I'm at home, and I get there. It's around about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I get there and I start to sing, and people want to hear me sing. I was doing like videos at moments out of my day when I have a second, and I would just do the ones where it's just like solo shot videos, and people just ask me to sing stuff. And I've always been the one to do harmonies, like when me and my group members get together. Like I miss being able to do harmonies, so I was like, I just I found the little thing on my phone. I just started to sing, throughout that. I think I've seen someone post something with like 3 different boxes or something with a voice, and I was like, I gotta find that so I can do one myself. And then once I actually did one, I just turned it into a little thing where I just started to do like a little tribute to Boys and Men, because that's my all-time favorite group. Because for me, to me, that was there's a lot of great groups, but for me, those guys are the best for me, just because of what they brought to the table. And all 4 of them were just bona fide, hands down, like they could sing. So, and just their harmonies are just so on point. So,
Yeah, I shared it to my Facebook page, and like people are going wild over that video, man. Like that's really, really hot the way that you put it together.
No, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it got a lot of different love, because a lot of people didn't expect me to do a bass line to it. So when I do those kind of videos, it gets a lot of different attention, just because I don't guess people expect for me to be able to sing that many different parts. So, but it's fun, it's creative, and I have a good time doing it.
It definitely shows, obviously, the power that you have in your voice and just the overall skill that you have. And for anybody that has listened to your music and said that's not him singing, or this, all they got to do is look at that video and they can see that, okay, this dude really got it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Now, the next single, we're going to actually play Lay Around. So talk a little bit about Lay Around.
Well, Lay Around is a single that's out right now, and it's basically it's a fun song. It's something that you can vibe to. You can have a little drink. You can sit around at a picnic or a cookout or whatever. You can chill with your girl or maybe with your man or whoever you want to, with your best friend or your boys, whatever. You can just at the club or at home or whatever you're trying to do. But it's a great vibing song. So it's basically just talking about you might be feeling someone or you just want to see where it goes. You just want to lay around with them. You just want to talk to them and get to know them. So you got that Henny in your cup. You ain't really trying to turn up. You just want to be with that person and lay around.
I definitely want to make sure that I note that song has been so popular here on the station. So, like, we constantly are, like, spinning that song. People are constantly requesting it, and it's doing really good for the station. So I thought you might want to know that.
No, that's I appreciate that, man. It's more of it's very much so more of a hip-hop feel. And, we wanted to go more so into the clubs and more so, into people's everyday lives with a record. I got a lot of baby making music and a lot of, ballads. So I wanted to reach out into the clubs and to people's everyday lives.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play it. Just Lay Around by Big Mike right here on Indie Soul Saturdays.
Baby, I ain't lying, yeah. I like the way we vibing, yeah. You're the one I wanna be around, yeah. Let's get high and baby touch the sky, yeah. Got that Henny all in my cup. I ain't really trying to turn up. All the other new won't. Baby, I just wanna be with you. So baby, we could lay around. Just lay around. Can't nobody do what I do to you. Just lay around, and I'ma put it down. Can't nobody do what I do. Can't nobody do what I do to you.
Girl, just lay back, and I can't take your pain away. Girl, just lay back, and I can't take your pain away. Girl, just lay back, and I can't take your pain away. Girl, just lay back, and I can't take your pain away.
We about to tear up all in this room, girl. Baby, cut a rugged player tune, girl. The way you looking makes me wanna be a part of that body. The way you acting so naughty turns me on. Maybe it's that any other my cup. I ain't really trying to turn up. All the mother new won't. Baby, I just wanna be with you. So baby, we could stay around. Just stay around. Can't nobody do what I do to you. Just stay around, and I'ma put it down. Can't nobody do what I do. Can't nobody do what I do to you.
Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away. Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away. Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away. Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away.
Make her get while she cook breakfast, I just stare down. I run the town, she my tenderoni and I'm Bobby Brown. Give her foot massages while she take a bath, girl, how that sound? Go underwater, make it rain until I drown. Watch Netflix while we tongue kiss. Babe, where we going on our next trip? Suck her bottom lip until her soul lift. She don't strip but know a lot of pole tricks. We gon' lay around and take selfies, girl, strip these. Turn around, please. Stay cheese, Kodak, Big Mike scene. Just stay around, just stay around. Can't nobody do what I do to you. Just stay around, and I'ma put it down. Can't nobody do what I do. Can't nobody do what I do to you.
Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away. Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away. Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away. Girl, just play bet, and I can take your pain away.
Just you baby, just baby, just lay.
I think that's
Yeah,
that's
man.
another hot one. Like I'm so anticipating, your album that's going to be coming out just from the songs that you've had out here. Like the bonus tracks, you figured those two songs. You got Cold MF with Mike Ash. You got Drop the Whip with TA and Betty Grind. You got Honey Fluid. You got Sex Games. Like all 7 of the songs that you got out there right now that's floating around, like all of those songs are hot. And you really don't see that a lot where somebody puts out a handful of songs and each one of them is hot in their own respect. You kind of have.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I appreciate that. And that means a lot to me because I take a lot of, I put a lot of thought into what I put out and what I actually release. Cause I have a lot of music. I probably get like close to maybe like 60, 80 records right now, and I just don't, and a lot of them, I can't release now because they're probably like dated. But even the ones that I do have that's like maybe old, they're relevant. And they're still like bangers to right now because when I let people hear them, they want me to release it like right now in this moment. It might be a record that I did like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and that makes me feel good because it's I know that it comes from, I know it's personal to me, so I know it comes from a good place, which makes it like classic music, makes it timeless music. Because if you can still get what I was putting out 5 years ago now, then that means 10 years from now people will still get it. 20 years from now they'll still get it.
But if you look at, like realistically, if you look at a lot of your other artists out there, and I mean, hell, if you look at your Jill Scott, you look at your India Irie, you look at your Alicia Keys, and like all of these artists out there that are putting songs out, a majority of their songs, with the exception of a handful, a lot of them are like that, 3 and 4 and 5 years old. So honestly, like I feel like when you're putting the time in, the way that you're doing it, and you're really putting that pure effort into making good music, I don't think there's really a date on it. Like there's not a timestamp on it to the point where, well, I can't really release it now because it's 5 years old and it's dated. I almost don't necessarily believe that because a lot of artists when they put their biggest songs out, they've been kind of sitting in the can for 5 years, and they've been waiting for it to come out. And then you know how it is being with a lot of the major labels too. So a lot of times they put these albums together and they sit for a couple years because the labels feel like, well, that's not really on the schedule yet, and we'll release it when we get ready for it. And by the time they finally put it out, it's 3 or 4 years old. So I mean, I think it's good. Yeah, and I think it's good though because like this music, man, like I'm serious. Like a lot of artists, they put like a handful of songs out and like maybe 5 of them are good, or maybe 3 or 4 of them are good. Like I know you know yourself just going out and buying music. Like a lot of artists don't put out full good albums anymore. Like it's a handful of. So like what you have with this right here, somebody can play any one of these songs and like really get into that groove. Like, okay, I'm gonna go buy this shit because this real hot. Like I think it's dope the way that you're really doing it. And actually, while I'm still talking, I had another question just come in on Facebook. Basically, they said timing is important. What are your thoughts about good R&B music at the time right now?
Well, I think it's still out there. I think R&B, real R&B music. I think it's what it depends on your classification of real R&B music really right now in today's time, because I know R&B music has really evolved into it's not just like slow, not the slow love making music that we used to. Like it's done in a different way now. So you know it's targeted to a different audience. You know, we still have that kind of music, but it just depends on your audience and the different type of artists and what they're targeting. So I feel as though R&B music is still alive. It's not going to be publicized or put to the forefront like it once was because of the types of artists that it comes from. So they want society is targeting a certain kind of artist and a certain kind of mindset from that artist. So if you don't have that mindset, then it can't elevate you to being that kind of artist. It won't elevate you to being that biggest artist just because it's not going to you're not going to benefit them.
It's just amazing though because and not even necessarily getting into like the whole sales thing and all of that, but it's like it's so many hot R&B artists out there. Like obviously you have yourself, and I think it's really good that you're stepping out here to the forefront because I mean I've said all along, and I think a lot of other people said all along, like when you guys did the reality thing and you was coming into the game, a lot of people looked at that, and regardless of the struggles that you went through and that everybody went through, I think a lot of people said this dude is going to really make something out of doing all of this and really step to the forefront at some point, because I think a lot of people really saw what you had from the get-go. And like what you're doing is dope. Like obviously you got Faith Evans out here who like I feel is really killing it, and nobody really pushes her when she comes out. You got it's a lot of who put really good music out and they don't get that push or anything. So I think it's
you gotta think about it, though. It still comes from like I tell people all the time. It still comes from the fans. It still comes from the people that that you put the music out for. Like if the music is out here, but people gotta actually go get it. They gotta actually listen to it. They gotta go get it. They gotta go listen to it. They gotta come out and support it. If people are putting out, there's people that put out the music. There's artists that put out the music that people want to hear and that they're asking for. But when they put it out, they don't support it. Or when they come to your city, you don't support it. You don't go to the show. You don't come out to to see or do whatever they ask you to do. So they can't continue to put out the stuff that you want them to put out because you're not going to support it. So they got to follow what's going to be, support it.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%. But I think that with what you have out here, like I don't think it's any question. Like people are really like thoroughly going to support this because like you have a really good product out here. Like what kind of a timeline do you have on obviously the album that's going to come behind all of this?
Well, right now, like I said, I'm doing something a little different. I have like this project as well as I'm doing a whole other sound, like a whole different. It's like a different different, like a live. It's like a live band. That kind of sound. It's more of like a jazzy funk kind of sound. So I've always done music like that, and I'm putting together a project just in that. So that's the main focus. The album really for the project right now. For this is already done. We're just looking into like the marketing and when we'll actually release it. So we just haven't put a definite date on it. But I have like two different genres of music that I want to release, not too far apart from one another, just because of I've always been the one to be able to do any kind of music. I don't like to be placed in a box, and my mind goes like as far as like the music that I do, it goes in so many directions, and I love to be able to do a ballad and then turn around and be able to do, something like a jazz song, or be able to do a funk kind of song, and then turn around and then turn into a hip hop song, or do some acapella, and then just I like to mix it up, and just whatever comes to me, and I like to move off the feeling of music, not how people want you to actually do it. I like to go off the feeling. So we want to do it's going to be two different projects, and it'll be ready pretty soon. Which I said, like the project related to Lay Around and my time, it's already done. We're just focusing on like how we want to package it and promote it.
I think it all makes perfect sense. Like, it's so many people, including myself, that are really glad that you're out here. I see a whole lot coming from this movement that you have right here, and I think it's going to be huge. For people to check you out, obviously there's your website, iambigmike.com. You want to shout out social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, if you got that?
Yeah, my Instagram, _IamBigMike. Again, my Instagram is IG _IamBigMike, and my Facebook is I have two of those, which is my fan page is I Am Big Mike, and then my personal page is the Mike McClooney, which I'm sorry I can't really accept anybody on my personal page. It's way over limit, but you can go to the other one, and I'll gladly accept you on there. So, but I need you to like my fan page anyway. So, but my Twitter, Mike _Day26, and my YouTube. Definitely go check out the YouTube channel. This is I Am Big Mike, and check out our videos. And again, the website is www.iambigmike.com.
I'm on that YouTube page, man, and I've been sharing them videos like that. The video that you have, like I said, of yesterday, man, that just like made the day. I was like, damn, like this dude is really doing it for real. The first thing I said is that had to take a lot of time to put that together, but I thought it was really, really dope, though. I think that you're definitely continuing to open up doors for people, because I think that there's a lot of people who are looking at what you're doing, and they're being able to now see that, okay, I can do this too, or this might be a little bit easier than what I thought it was going to be. It still might be a little difficult, but I can kind of see that light now, and I can see a way to do it because I'm watching his videos, or I'm watching what he's doing out here. And, I mean, like, you're making some really, really serious moves. A lot of times, like, I think you should be really proud of where you've come, because a lot of times people, they're in, these big establishments and these big groups and whatnot, and then when things kind of go sour, or not even going sour, but aren't really out there in the limelight anymore, they struggle just in terms of really getting established and being able to do their own thing. And I think the beauty of it is, yeah, you got a team, but on the same token, there's a whole hell of a lot that you're doing by yourself, and you're doing it on your own, and you're working it out and figuring it out. And you have that realization already that if XYZ don't happen, then it's my fault. So I need to make it happen. And I think that's the beauty in it. So, like, I'm really, really, like, I'm happy, at the direction that you've gone, and I love the music. Like, I'm thoroughly supporting it. I just went on iTunes while you was talking and bought the single. So, I'm fully supportive of this whole thing. Like, I really want you to do good out here, and I think that you're gonna do good. Any kind of final comments, words of encouragement that you want to mention out there?
No, I mean, I appreciate y'all for having me on the show, and I just want everybody to go out and follow me on social media and make sure I go and get the new single Lay Around, and available, like I said, anywhere digital music is sold online. So make sure I go get that. And just check me out and be ready for the new music, and I appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt, man. Now one other thing, what we will do we have Indie Soul Saturdays is in iTunes now. So we will be uploading this conversation sometime this weekend. We'll get this uploaded into iTunes so that people can go back and they can download and they can, obviously listen to the conversation that we had today. They'll be able to hear the songs and all of that jazz as well. From there, I publish the magazine as well. So I'll do some transcribing, and then I can actually transcribe this over into an actual article, and then we'll run that in the next issue of the magazine, which actually is coming out the 31st. So we'll go ahead and run that as well. And then most definitely, we definitely want to be able to bring you back here on the show. So, anytime you've got something going on or anything else happens, man, definitely, listen for us. We definitely will reach out to you to, bring you back on, as you have time. And we definitely want to be, that support system for you in terms of getting your music out here. Make sure you get your singles to us. We'll play them. We definitely want to be that support to you.
No, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I thank y'all. I thank y'all for all the support, and I thank y'all for having me on today, man.
All right, man. So you take care of yourself, and, we definitely will be getting all of that going up.
All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.
And there you have it, Source Nation. We have wrapped up the first hour of Indie Soul Saturdays. I think it was an amazing conversation. Everybody out there, listen to this. Download the podcast. We are in iTunes, baby. We're in iTunes, and this conversation will be going up live this weekend. So you will be able to go back and listen to this. You'll be able to listen to our prior conversations with the previous artists that we've had here on the show. And there's a whole lot more coming from that. So make sure you download that podcast in iTunes right now, Apple iTunes. Make sure you get that, Indie Soul Saturdays. And there you have it, Source Nation. We have wrapped up Indie Soul Saturdays today, and that actually concludes the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It definitely was an amazing show with Mike McClooney, who's also known as Big Mike, who many people remember from Day 26. He was in our first hour. Definitely want to say thanks to everybody. Want to give a special shout-out to Miss Irene Renee, who is responsible for sending us a few clients today. So we're really grateful to her as well. I want to give a special shout-out to the big boss. That's Miss Kathy, who over here at Source Radio Network. I definitely want to say thank you to her for being here in the studio with me today. Want to give a shout-out to Miss Tracy, who will be back with us soon. And just grateful for everybody tuning in. Definitely check us out next week. We'll be back here same time and same place right here on Source Radio Network with Indie Soul Saturdays.